Hey everyone, welcome to our podcast from Empire to Republic. Today we are diving into something that really interesting, the political ideologies that shaped modern Turkey.
Yeah, it's like taking a trip through time, from the late Ottoman Empire to today's Republic, and seeing how different ideas try to answer one big question. How can this country survive, modernize, and stay united?
So, let's go back to the 18th century. The Ottoman Empire is in decline. The West is getting stronger, and suddenly everyone's talking about new ideas.
Right, the Ottoman intellectuals start searching for ways to save the empire. That's when early ideologies appear. Ottomanism, Pan-İslamizm, Turkism, and Turanism.
Exactly. Ottomanism tried to unite everyone, Turks, Arabs, Greeks, and Armenians, under one big Ottoman identity. Kind of like saying, hey, we are all in this together.
But that didn't really work. Nationalist movements across the empire wanted independence, so others turned to Islam, hoping that religion could bring people together instead.
And then came to Turkism and Turanism, which focused on Turkish identity, even dreaming of uniting all Turkish people from Anatolia to Central Asia.
It's wild how each idea had the same goal, saving the empire, but totally different approaches.
Fast forward to the 1923, the Ottoman Empire is gone and the Republic of Turkey is born. Now there is a new ideology in town, Kemalizm, named after Mustafa Kemal Atatürk.
Yeah, Kemalism basically said, let's modernize fast. It was built on the famous six arrows: republicanism, nationalism, populism, laicism, statism, and reformism.
So it placed the empire with a secular, modern nation state. Religion was separated from the politics, and the new state became the main driver of the change.
It was kind of like top-down project, very organized, very state-centered. But to be fair, it totally reshaped Turkish society. New laws, new schools, even a new alphabet.
Exactly. Kemalism wasn't perfect. It was a bit authoritarian, but it created the foundation of the modern Turkey. And fun fact, every later ideology either reacted against Kemalism or tried to redefine it in their own way.
Okay, let's talk about nationalism, one of the most powerful ideas of the 20th century. It's all about unity, one language, one culture, one nation.
And in Turkey, nationalism has taken different shapes. There is a Turkish nationalism, which focused on ethnic unity and the pride of being Turkish.
Then there is leftist nationalism, which tried to mix socialism with patriotism. Kind of like saying, let's be independent and equal.
And of course, liberal conservative nationalism, which blended national pride with democracy and religion, what's sometimes called Turkish Islamic synthesis.
So, nationalism in Turkey wasn't just one idea. It changed depending on who used it.
Speaking of change, let's move to conservatism. In the West, conservatism started as a reaction to the French Revolution, a don't change too fast kind of attitude.
And in Turkey, it came as a reaction to Kemalist reforms. Think about it. Overnight, the alphabet changed, religion was pushed out of politics, and traditions were redefined. That was a lot of thing for society to absorb.
Exactly. So Turkish conservatives, people like Beyami Sava, Nurettin Topçu, Ahmet Hamdi Tanpınar said, wait, maybe we can modernize without losing our souls.
That's such a good way to put it. They weren't against progress. They just wanted a balance between the past and the future, between Eastern values and Western science. Now, what about socialism? It came later to Turkey, right?
Yeah. All socialist ideas appeared in the 19th century but stayed small. Then in the 1960s, the Turkish Labour Party, led by Mehmed Ali Aybar, give it real momentum.
That's when the big debate started between the Socialist Revolution and the National Democratic Revolution. Basically, should Turkey follow a global socialist model or create its own path first?
Exactly. But the left kept splitting into smaller groups. After 1980 coup, socialism weakened, but some ideas lived in social democratic parties like CHP, DSP.
Still, a true European-style social democracy never really took root here. Maybe because of the strong state tradition and Kemalist legacy.
Okay, next up, Islamism. It actually started in the late Ottoman period as a reaction to Western domination.
Yeah, thinkers like Mehmet Akif Ersoy, Namık Kemal said Islam could be modern, that it wasn't the problem, but the solution. They focused on unity, education, and returning to Islamic values.
Then, after 1950, a new generation emerged, people like Necip Fazıl Kısakürek and Necmettin Erbakan. Erbakan's national view movement turned Islamism into real political force.
And later, in the 2000s, the AK Party transformed that movement into what they called conservative democracy. So, Islamism evolved from opposition to actual government power.
Now, here is the tricky one, liberalism. It is all about individual freedom, limited government, and free markets. But in Turkey, it is always about being minority force.
Yeah, from Prince Sabahattin in the late Ottoman period to Turgut Özal in the 1980s, liberals promoted ideas like decentralization, private enterprise, and human rights.
Özal's motherland party was closest Turkey got liberal economics, focusing on privatization and open markets. But socially and politically, the culture remained pretty state-centered.
Still, liberal thinkers and groups like the Association for Liberal Thinking kept pushing for democracy and individual rights.
So, from the Ottomanism to liberalism, every ideology tried to answer a simple but powerful question: what should Turkey be?
Yeah, and the answer kept changing. Sometimes it leaned toward the West, sometimes toward tradition, but all of left mark on the country's political DNA.
That is the beauty of Turkish politics. It is a mix of ideas, identities, and contradictions.
Thanks for joining us on this journey through Turkey's ideologies. We hope you learned something new and maybe started thinking about how these ideas still affect the present day.